Parker was a tall, stylish inside forward with two good feet and the ability to score goals as well as create them. He arrived at Everton as an amateur in 1947, but didn't make his full debut until 1951. He found the net 4 times in Everton's run through to the 1953 FA Cup semi-final. O'Neill joined Everton in 1949 and served the club very well indeed. He played in the 1953 FA Cup semi-final and shared the keeping duties with Harry Leyland during the promotion campaign of 1953-54. He won 17 caps for the Irish Republic and was renowned as a safe and reliable goalkeeper. Eglinton was one of Everton's greatest ever servants, making over 400 appearances during the 11-year career. He joined the club in 1946 from Shamrock Rovers in a joint deal with Peter Farrell that cost the club just £10,000. An Irish international, he left for Tranmere Rovers in 1957. Farrell joined Everton from Shamrock Rovers in a £10,000 deal with his close friend Tommy Eglinton, and he played more than 450 games for the Blues, many as captain. He played 28 times for the Republic of Ireland, including the famous 2-0 win at Goodison against England in 1949. In October 1957, he left Goodison to become player-manager of Tranmere Rovers. Alfred Walter Fielding was born in London and signed professional terms with Everton in 1945. He was a terrific ball player with a great engine, and he served Everton in over 400 games. He was always regarded as being more of a supplier than a taker of goals. Surprisingly, for a player of his undoubted ability, he was never capped for England. Known simply as T.E. Jones, the Liverpool-born stopper signed professionally with the club in 1948 and proved to be a model of consistency. A reliable and unruffled defender, he was a credit to the club but smashed a kneecap in a reserve game, effectively ending his Everton career, and he left the UK to coach in Italy in 1961. Hickson was an Everton icon in the 1950s. A fearless, swashbuckling centre-forward, he was the darling of the Gladys Street at a time when the supporters had precious little to cheer about. His remarkable bravery brought him goals and knocks in equal measure, and he played a huge part in lifting Everton back into the top flight in 1954. Collins was one of the finest inside forwards ever to wear the royal blue of Everton. Standing at only 5 feet 4 inches, he was a player of immense stature and joined Everton in 1958 from Celtic. All too quickly, he left for Leeds United in 1962 and became an Ellen Road legend, winning the Footballer of the Year title in 1965. Vernon joined Everton from Blackburn Rovers in February 1960 and became one of the most revered strikers the club has ever had. An expert penalty taker and supremely powerful and accurate from any dead ball situation, Vernon contributed 24 goals in the championship winning season of 1962-63. He captained Everton on many occasions and won 32 caps for Wales. Harris joined Everton from Port Sunlight in 1954. He was an extremely versatile player, and during his 11 seasons with the club, he operated in every position except goalkeeper. He was a star of the 1966 FA Cup winning team, but 5 months after winning his Wembley medal, he left Everton for Cardiff City. Stevens joined Everton in March 1962 and showed himself to be a midfield player of rare strength and determination. He played for Bolton in the 1958 FA Cup final, and he won a league championship medal with Everton in 1963. He was eventually transferred to Oldham Athletic in December 1965. Alex Scott joined Everton from Glasgow Rangers in 1963 for £40,000, and by the end of the season he was a championship winner. He also won an FA Cup Winners' Medal in 1966 and was a hugely popular figure with the supporters before leaving for Hibernian in 1967. Alex Young was a real class act. He joined Everton in 1960 from Hearts and was an artist with a football at his feet. He was an ever-present in the title-winning season of 62-63, and so popular was he that a corporate lounge at Goodison Park still bears his name today. Wilson's summer of '66 made history when he won the World Cup and FA Cup in the same season. A tough tackling fullback, Wilson was also a cultured footballer who would have excelled in any age. He was 29 years old when Everton signed him from Huddersfield, but there was still sufficient time for him to give the Toffees some magnificent service. Harry Catterick paid a then record fee for a goalkeeper when he bought West from Blackpool in March 1962 for £27,000. A superb shot stopper with a dash of theatre about him, West won championship medals in 1962-63 and 69-70. He played in the 1966 and 1968 FA Cup finals. He won 3 England caps and left Everton when he was just 1 game short of 400 in total. Temple achieved the dream of scoring a winning goal in an FA Cup final when he rounded off Everton's amazing comeback against Sheffield Wednesday at Wembley in 1966. He made his debut in 1957 and spent 11 seasons with the Blues. A gifted striker, he won 1 England cap against West Germany in 1965. Gabriel was one of the most expensive teenagers in British football when he joined Everton from Dundee for £30,000 in March 1960, and he played a pivotal role in the 1962-63 championship winning team. He left the club to join Southampton in 1967, but later returned to Goodison in a coaching capacity, even managing the club in a caretaker role at one stage. The likeable Cornishman joined Everton from Plymouth Argyle in December 1965 and was largely unheralded until he replaced Fred Pickering in the 1966 FA Cup final and scored 2 goals to bring Everton level with Sheffield Wednesday. He couldn't keep his place after his day of glory though and moved to Portsmouth in 1967. Brian LeBone was booked only twice in a career spanning over 500 games for the Blues and was successful for both club and country. An Everton fan through and through, he rose through the ranks to lead his side to victory at Wembley in the 1966 FA Cup final. Dubbed the last of the Corinthians by Harry Catterick, LeBone claimed 2 league championships and an FA Cup winners' medal. He also won 26 England caps. Big Joe Royle made his debut as a 16-year-old, famously replacing Alex Young at Blackpool. A powerful centre-forward with a lovely touch, he top-scored in the 1970 championship winning season and won the first of his England caps while still an Everton player. He played in the 1968 FA Cup final and later managed the team to Wembley glory in 1995. Wright was born and bred in Liverpool and made his debut in 1964. He played in the 1966 FA Cup final triumph at Wembley and won 11 caps for his country, including appearances in the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. He was an ever-present in the 1969-70 championship winning team. Known as Skippy, Husband was a northeasterner who progressed through the ranks at Everton to become a championship winner in 1970. A skillful winger with unerring accuracy when crossing the ball, Husband could also score goals and was a vital cog in Harry Catterick's wonderful team. One of the toughest wingers to have ever played the game, local-born Morrissey started his career at Liverpool, but joined Everton for a bargain £10,000 in 1962. He scored the 1968 FA Cup semi-final winner against Leeds United to take the team to Wembley and was a regular when the Toffees won the league in 1969-70. Brown cost Everton £38,000 when Harry Catterick bought him from Partick Thistle in the summer of 1963. He was a fine utility footballer who was as comfortable in midfield as he was in his more favoured position of defender. Born in Blackpool, Hurst was a product of the Everton youth system and broke into the first team during the 1965-66 season. He was originally a striker, but Harry Catterick transformed him into one of the finest wing halves in the country. He played for Everton in the 1968 FA Cup final at Wembley and left the club in 1975 to join Oldham Athletic. With a shock of blonde hair and a fiery temper, Alan Whittle stood out every time he pulled on a blue jersey. His flurry of goals late in the 1969-70 campaign went some way to helping Everton lift the championship. Liverpool born and bred, Whittle left Everton in 1972 to join Crystal Palace. One of the greatest footballers in the history of the English game, Alan Ball was a winner. Signed in 1966 from Blackpool shortly after winning the World Cup, Ball was a Goodison hero from day one. He loved nothing better than putting one over the city neighbours Liverpool, and he could do no wrong in the eyes of the Evertonians. There was a great shock when he was sold to Arsenal in December 1971, and lasting despair when he passed away in 2007. Nicknamed the White Pele by the supporters, Colin Harvey made his debut for Everton in 1963 at the San Siro Stadium against Inter Milan in the European Cup. An extremely talented midfielder, Harvey did the lot at Everton, playing, coaching and managing the first team. He won League Championship and FA Cup winners' medals and is a genuine Everton legend. Signed from Preston North End in 1967, Howard Kendall was a midfield player with a bit of everything. He could pass, he was a ferocious tackler and he could score goals. He may have been overlooked by England, but the Evertonians fully appreciated him. And he was a real Everton hero long before he became the most successful manager in the club's history.